Anne Heche was allegedly preparing to reveal serious information involving Ellen DeGeneres. Then, tragically, Anne's life ended after a devastating car crash. Now, claims have resurfaced, suggesting Anne may have believed Ellen was connected to the same broader circle of powerful people associated in public discussions with Jeffrey Epstein. But these remain allegations, not established facts.
To go to my own after party for fear that they would get pictures of me with a woman was so bad that I was fired from my multi-million-dollar picture deal, and I did not work in a studio picture for 10 years. Name could not be whispered.
I don't know that they wanted to shut you up. I think she wanted to shut you down and shut you out.
And that raises the question people keep returning to. How deep was Ellen's alleged connection to that world? Was Anne preparing to expose something major, or are people simply connecting unrelated events after her death? To understand why these questions exist, we have to go back to 1997, when Anne and Ellen began what was essentially a private relationship. At the time, openly being gay in Hollywood was far less accepted than it is today. The two were reportedly serious enough to discuss marriage, and they even made extremely emotional comments about what might happen if one of them died. But their private relationship wasn't going to remain private for long.
I'm here with Ellen DeGeneres nominee, Anne Heche presenter. How are you this evening? Lovely, thank you. Hi, Mom. Hi. Oh, she's probably there. Yeah. Hi. There. God, we don't know where to look, and you think we. Where are you, Joe? Now, you know, my mom, she's kind of like omnipresent. She's everywhere. Especially when it comes to fashion. You are our best dressed couple this year. No, thank you. Yes, we're very grateful for that award. Well, we know that your Emmy meant a lot and all. I mean, come on, a big year, but the Golden Hanger, significantly more emotional. The Emmy is like, I don't even know where that is. The Golden Hanger is right on the mantle. We were crying for days. And now, who are we wearing tonight? Well, we are wearing Pamela Dennis. And we are wearing Voyage. Love that. Love that. Now, this is great. This is that whole fresh velvet hip thing happening. Now, Wag the Dog. Great movie. Are you having fun with the whole hype and everything that's going on? Well, I've kind of missed the hype because I've been in Hong Kong, but I've heard it's been breaking some records, and I you know, it's the best movie I've ever done. I'm thrilled to be a part of it, and I hope they get Best Comedy tonight. Well, what's next? What's coming up? Oh, I don't know. I'm open to it. I don't know what's going to happen with the show. I'm waiting to find out the fate of my show, and I'm doing a movie with Ron Howard and Matthew McConaughey coming up soon, and I'm going to take some time off. Well, you know what? Take the time off, but they're silly if they don't pick up the show.
In April 1997, Anne invited Ellen to the premiere of Volcano. According to Anne's later account, that decision put her career at serious risk. She claimed that bringing Ellen to the premiere was considered unacceptable within parts of Hollywood at the time. Anne later recalled sitting down with Ellen before the event only to be confronted by 5 men in suits.
Moved to New York, where you've basically been gainfully employed ever since? You've probably taken
it's kind of amazing, other than my blacklisting for taking Ellen DeGeneres to the Volcano premiere years ago, and I didn't do a studio picture for 10 years. People don't know that part of my story or what happened to me because of that experience. But I feel very blessed that I've been able to be working for.
I remember Volcano.
You remember Volcano?
I like that movie.
Thank you. I did too, except I couldn't see the end of it because they ushered Ellen and me out of the premiere before it ended, put us in a car and said, well, we don't want you back here. We will not be accepting pictures of you and Ellen. And then I was fired. I was told before I went to the premiere with Ellen that I would be fired. And I was...
Are we talking about 90...
now you're going to put years on... yes.
Really? There was 2 volcanoes. Dante's Peak,
yeah, but they came out the same week.
Right.
Ours won, by the way, and then they blamed me for its failure for taking a woman. I was like, but we were number 1 in the box office. The confusion of how I was fired and the fact that nobody has ever acknowledged it is just shows, in a way, it shows how much further we've come. Because if that would have happened today, obviously, it wouldn't happen today, and I feel glad that I'm a part of that.
Ooh, I was right on.
You were.
Yeah. All right, so but Ellen is just coming out.
That was Tuesday night. Wednesday was my Volcano press junket. Thursday night was Volcano. So they knew I wanted to take Ellen. I had never met her before. I didn't know who she was. I was like, whoa, you have your own TV show? That's cool. Like, what's it called? And she's like, Ellen. It's called Ellen. Do you know who you are? And I'm like, probably not. She said, you're the it girl. I said, I've never been it. I have never been it. And she's like, you cannot be this close to me. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. You're the most interesting person in the room. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, everybody's walking around with statues and everybody else. But she was glowing. Something was so powerful. She was the one person I asked to meet. And when she told me what she was doing, coming out on her show, I was like, you're the most spectacular person in the world. I fell in love with the truth of what that incredible human being was doing. Then I had to be in a relationship with her, so that was a little difficult. So I asked her to go. And then on Wednesday, which was the volcano, I asked her to come and meet me for lunch at the Four Seasons, and I was greeted by 5 suits. Ellen was sitting in a chair, and I said, as far as I remember, I didn't invite anybody else to lunch today. And they said, we know that you want to take Ellen to the premiere, and we're here to tell you that you will be fired from your $10 million picture deal if you do it. And then Ellen looked at me. I was sitting on the armchair because she little Four Seasons chair, and she said, "Do what they say. You don't know what you're up against. We've only known each other for a couple of days." And I said, "I do know what I'm up against. I'm up against sitting in a room after you've just come out on national television to preserve the right of anybody to be able to love who they want to love, and now you're sitting in the soup of the demise of a culture that does not pay attention to that truth. I will take you to the premiere and whatever those consequences."
Whatever they expected to happen next, the decision became an important moment in their public lives and in the LGBTQ movement. Anne later claimed she lost a $10 million movie deal and was effectively blacklisted from major studio productions for around 10 years. However, her career history adds an important complication. Anne continued working after 1997, appearing in major projects and securing significant roles through 2000. The noticeable decline came later, with fewer opportunities and smaller roles, and 2000 was also the year Anne and Ellen broke up. That same August, Anne became involved in a bizarre incident near Fresno. She reportedly arrived at a stranger's home and told people she was God and intended to take them to heaven on her spaceship.
I knew what propelled Heche across the desert until today.
Fresno was the culmination of a journey, of a world that I thought I needed to escape to in order to find love. So in the pain, I think what triggered the pain of my breakup with Ellen was a bottoming out of, there's no love here. I'm gonna go get love.
Were you on ecstasy? Is that what caused this?
I have done drugs in my life. I'm not a consistent drug user, and I never was with ecstasy either. I was told to go to a place where I would meet a spaceship. I was told in order to get on the spaceship that I would have to take a hit of ecstasy. Again, a voice. All of this justification for the end of this journey. I did go to a house. I did ask people to join me. I did go to the hospital.
Heche spent one night strapped to a gurney in the psychiatric unit of a Fresno hospital. Anne.
Yes.
The next day, your manager, Lauren Lloyd, and her friend, Kathy, who is your friend, come to see you in this hospital. And said, in effect, come back to us. We care about you. We love you. And like that, you were okay? 31 years of what you call insanity, and in that one day, you were fine?
Here's the thing. I always thought you had to leave the world to get love. And I was being shown that you could stay in the world and have love. I love my life. I just didn't like the life I was raised in, but I love my life, and I chose to keep it.
The timing immediately caught people's attention because the incident happened during the same month Anne and Ellen ended their relationship. According to later accounts, Anne was the one who ended things. Ellen reportedly said she had been completely blindsided and didn't understand why Anne had broken up with her. For years, the reasons behind the breakup remained unclear. Then, in 2021, Anne spoke publicly about the relationship again.
There's Anne Heche talking about Ellen again. Anne doesn't talk about Ellen. We've done a few TikToks that our social media team has suggested
if we don't pay attention to what people want to listen to,
them.
we're stupid. I mean, give me a break. There's one question people want to know. What do I think about Ellen? And in fact, I haven't said that yet. I have not rambled on about her for one single moment. For 20 years, I have withheld my understanding. I have been canceled since the day I was born. I've been buried since the day I was born. Every single truth that I spoke, I was hit more, buried more, or despised more, and then had calculated visions and circulations of systems that spun me up and out of the system that would in any way challenge the fact that she was not telling her own truth, but another's. Why do you think she tried to put me in an institution, folks? I called my mother. Guess what? 2 people who wanted more than anything to have my truth buried. It was not my timing. I did not and could not ask God for what that would be. All I could do was stay on my truth, do what I was doing, and study this thing called love that we tried to bury. And now I am up and out of the ground. And unfortunately, those 2 women could not.
Anne made serious claims about Ellen, including the allegation that she had attempted to have her institutionalized and silenced. But what was behind those beliefs? Some people have pointed toward Anne's later work and the causes she became passionate about. She appeared in The Vanished and later took a significant role in The Girl in Room 13, a Lifetime movie dealing with abuse and trafficking. Anne didn't simply act in the film. She also participated in public service announcements and spoke publicly about the issue.
I want to talk about how, look, basically what we're saying here is that she basically pitched herself as the queen of kindness, and we're finding that perhaps was not the case. And you're saying that in your experience with her, that was not the case. And in fact, that was kind of your jam. So kind of stole your look.
To say the least.
And
How
so,
does my hair
so
look,
the
by the
irony
way?
of it is that you've always been saying the same thing. You are somebody who's
That's
always
one thing you can say about
been
me.
saying the same thing. And when you say something that is not quite organic to you or truthful, you're gonna get popped. And where I see her having done this and just plain proof, people can tell us all the things they want to tell us, but I saw it completely when she did the 20th anniversary of her coming out episode, and she sat with Oprah and they did an entire documentary on it, and your name was not mentioned once. You were cut out of the story. You were actually literally cut out of the picture. They showed when you and Ellen went on Oprah's show, and they had a tight shot on Ellen, and you were sitting right next to her, and you were cut out of it, and you were cut out of that part of the story. And you were such a big part of that story because when you took her to that movie premiere and you were basically blackballed from that moment on, that's a part of the story. And she, with her big platform, just took you, not only did she take you out of the history of that, from what we're finding out, every opportunity she got to block you from working.
Toward the end of her career, Anne continued encouraging people to recognize the warning signs of trafficking and understand how victims could become vulnerable. Then came another revealing moment. On the Just the Two of Us podcast, Anne discussed feeling safer and finally able to breathe when Ellen was on the other side of the world. That was striking because nearly 2 decades had passed since their breakup. Anne was also working on another memoir. Her first book was Call Me Crazy, while the planned follow-up was Call Me Anne. She explained that the second book would focus more on overcoming trauma and becoming a different person, but she also intended to discuss Ellen more openly, describing their relationship as traumatic.
It's taken us 20 years to be able to be at a point where we can listen to the truth again.
And Ellen's fine. She can sit on her pile of money
I
and
hope
be
you
fine.
like your money, because that's why I broke up with you. Do you like sitting on your piles of cash? Because guess what? It gets you exactly where you are. And by the way, baby, and it's what you wanted then, and I hope you're liking it now. Cheers.
You broke up with her because she had a lot of money, or you broke up with her because...
I broke up with her because her goal was to have a lot of money, and mine was to find love, and hers was I want 60 billion. Good luck. Our forks are never going to meet. The further we stay on with this, the further we will be apart.
She didn't live in that love and kindness,
No,
did
she didn't. But you and I don't talk about revenge a lot,
No, we don't. There's one thing that I remember. There is one little nugget that I do have a sense of wanting a little bit of. I guess the only word is revenge. I feel that you were so wronged, and now to know that you were continuing to be wronged, it fires me up a little bit, and especially when you look at somebody like Ellen, who literally is sitting on pile of $60 billion. And then
could feed countries.
Right. And then
but you got a Porsche.
I mean,
And now the story becomes much darker. Anne's comments about money and Ellen's ambitions have fueled further speculation online, but there is no established evidence connecting Ellen's wealth to anything that happened to Anne. What is confirmed is that August 5th, 2022 began as an ordinary day for Anne Heche. By the end of that day, everything had changed.
Heche remains in a coma after that fiery car crash. Her condition is far worse than originally believed.
Oh my gosh.
According to her spokesperson, she's in critical condition and on a ventilator. Her burns will require surgical intervention, and she has significant pulmonary injury. We're also learning that roughly 30 minutes before the crash, she stopped by this hair salon in Venice Beach.
Did you recognize her as the actress when she walked in?
Not initially, but after looking at her, I was like, oh yeah, I know who that is.
Hairstylist Richard Glass took this selfie with Heche after she bought a red wig from his salon.
She looked up top and said, hey, can I buy that red wig? I said, sure. So I went up to grab it for her. I told her, I said, it's not cut or styled. She says, no worries, I want it anyway.
Did she appear in any way inebriated or drunk or impaired?
She did not. She wasn't slurring her words. She had bright, beautiful blue eyes. She was just a sweet girl.
After the random encounter, Glass went on about his day at the salon. Then came news of the accident.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And I just started praying for all involved.
Anne was trapped inside the burning vehicle for nearly 49 minutes before firefighters managed to rescue her. She was rushed to the hospital but never regained consciousness. After approximately a week in a coma, Anne died, and her family eventually made the decision to remove her from life support. Her death was officially ruled an accident. Yet footage from the crash continued to generate questions online, including confusion over reports describing her condition immediately afterward.
Serious burns, according to the fire department. The LAPD saying that Heche appeared to be under the influence and was acting erratically. According to witnesses, she may have also been speeding. They saw her in a blue Mini Cooper. They say she first crashed into an apartment building near here, then took off from that location and ended up crashing into this house here on Walgrove. This Mar Vista home immediately caught fire. It took 59 firefighters about an hour to fully put out the fire. Following the accident, a rep for the actress released this statement to CNN. Take a look. Anne is in the ICU. She's lucky to be alive. She has severe burns and a long recovery ahead of her. Her team and her family are still trying to process what led up to this. Now, Heche's condition has since been upgraded. She is now in stable condition and in recovery. As for the homeowner, according to the GoFundMe page, she's been identified as Lynn Michelle, a resident here in Mar Vista. Neighbors are trying to raise money for her to pay for some of the damages. So far, about $60,000 has been raised. Now, earlier we did say she was in the house at the time, but again, we don't know if she was injured. Back out here live, the LAPD waiting to speak with Anne Heche in order to figure out exactly what happened here. Part of the investigation we do know is speeding, and this street right here, not sure if you can tell from this live shot, but it is a tease, so a very dangerous situation if you are not following the speed limit, and especially if
Footage appeared to show Anne moving and appearing disoriented while covered with a white material. However, that footage alone does not prove anything suspicious. Emergency crews use protective procedures when dealing with victims trapped inside severely damaged vehicles. Still, the footage became part of a larger theory involving modern vehicle technology. Could connected cars potentially be accessed or controlled remotely? That question was raised in the following discussion involving a former CIA officer.
Diary of a CEO, saying the CIA can wrest control of your car. You know, our cars have these big brains now that, I mean, you know, if the car company can't, and like whatever the service is, if you get into an accident, you can just sort of say, help me. If they can get in there, sure, I bet it's hackable by somebody else, to the point where they could potentially drive your car right off the road. Yes. If they could do that, then why would they ever have to do anything more explicit? Why would they ever have to do mind control over anybody at a rally in Pennsylvania if that's what they want? You know, like there would be ways of getting rid of you that would be so undetectable and not suspicious that they could be doing that all the time. They wouldn't have to go about mind control, MK Ultra, LSD. You know what I'm saying? So that, to me, that undermines the theory that they're doing any of these public executions explicitly or behind the scenes.
I think that's right. But think of it this way, too. I'm going to tell you a little funny
little anecdote about one of my promotion panels. I had been working with a psychologist in the CIA's Counterterrorism Center to come up with outside the box ideas on how to recruit spies to steal secrets. And she happened to also sit on my promotion panel. And she said in my promotion panel, in great support of my promotion, she said, John Kiriakou will come up with 40 different ideas for an operation. 36 of them are insane, but 4 of them are going to be really good. So imagine sitting around the table and somebody comes up with an idea to put an explosive in Fidel Castro's cigar. Well, that's a stupid idea. If you're going to get close enough to put an explosive in the cigar, just in the head, for example, if that's what you really want to do. So there are a lot of people sitting around a lot of conference room tables at the CIA coming up with really stupid ideas. And then there are nodding heads all around the table saying, yeah, that's a great idea. We should do that. So, the bottom line is this. We know, thanks to WikiLeaks and the Vault 7 revelations, that the CIA can remotely take over your car. They can make you drive off a bridge or into a tree or into an abutment and kill you.
And that brings us back to the central mystery. If Anne really was preparing to reveal something involving Ellen and alleged connections to Epstein's circle, her sudden death will naturally continue to attract speculation. But speculation is not proof. Anne's death was officially considered an accident, and there is no established evidence that she was killed because of anything she supposedly knew about Ellen or Jeffrey Epstein. What remains are the unanswered questions. Anne's controversial statements, her complicated history with Ellen, and the circumstances surrounding the final years of her life. Was it simply a tragic accident that people later connected to a controversial story? Or do you believe there are still unanswered questions worth investigating? Let us know what you think in the comments below.